Alright, I am back and I have the hose I needed off. Um, Basically, it's just dripping because of the pressure, well, from the line that's going to the fuel filter in the car. It's so full of fuel. Alright, so if I can remember offhand, we're going to need some wrenches here. I have my wrench case up here. Can't remember offhand. Something like something like 8 millimeters, I think, for the outer ones. Yep. So I want to start loosening these up. Just be careful that you don't drop them inside the tank. Drop anything inside the tank. Bend any of the fuel equipment, especially the fuel float, because that is what gets your reading. On the other side of the tank there is a sub sensor, which also measures fuel, but you just don't want to bend anything. I think it's still dribbling fuel here. Once you generally get these loosened up, you can use a nut driver and just take them out. Just don't lose any of these because this is pressurized. There's a gasket under here. The gasket under here. I'm going to take off these gloves. I don't need them. Now, given that I just got some gas and I'm almost at a full tank, you're going to have quite a bit of gas coming out when I pull the assembly out. So, let's get these other screws out of here. Just take your time. I've got one more after this. Now the tricky part after you get everything out, well, the nuts here, you'll have to figure out the way how to get the assembly out without bending anything. And you can't just turn it because the strainer will be in the way and everything else. As you are going to see here, you move the hoses out of the way. Hopefully enough fuel drained out of there so there won't even any more. And okay, there we go. We're going to lift the assembly out, so be prepared to have a lot of paper towel on hand, because you're definitely going to need it. Now lay the assembly right there so you can see. So I'm going to pull it out. Oh man, it's tough. If I turn this way. float is hanging up. Okay, the float's almost out. Now you gotta kind of turn it. You have to bend it just a little bit, but don't go crazy on it. Gently bring up the float, tilt it, let the strainer, let the strainer drip for a little bit, because if you don't, you're gonna have a lot of fuel just seeping down on whatever you're laying it on. Okay, and I'm going to gently lay it down, but do not lay it on the float side at all. Bad things can happen. Actually, it's still fuel draining from the strainer, so I'm going to let it drain for a little bit here. Seeing how much it is with a full tank, it doesn't look any much different than a half a tank actually. I purposely filled it up to almost full just to see what the difference in level is. Alright, so that's enough. Let it sit down on the side that's not on the float side. And just let the rest of it drain. Let me give you a little inside what the tank looks like. Where's the light switch on this thing? I guess now I can see a light. Hold on a second. I'm gonna